Hey everyone, in today's video, I'm going to share with you the true cost of living in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I'm getting after it right now. Welcome back, and if you are looking to make a move to the Salt Lake City area, I'd love to chat with you more about it. Reach out. I'm available nights, weekends. Here's my number here. So just reach out and shoot me a text, send me an email, give me a call. Love to chat with you about moving here to the Salt Lake City area. So further ado, you are moving here and you want to know the cost of what it's like to live here in Utah, some of the things. I'm going to cover them right now. So number one on my list that I'm going to cover is car registration. And I think this is one of the biggest shockers to me moving here from Nashville, Tennessee, is the cost. In Nashville, it was like $55 a year to have your car registered. Didn't matter if your car was brand new or if your car was 50 years old, they pretty much charge you the same rate. They even did away with smogging your car, but when you had to smog it, it was like $7. So it wasn't a big deal to go through and smog it. It was more of a hassle than it was of anything. Here in Utah, if your car is 3 years or newer, you're going to be looking to pay about $150 a year. If your car is between 3 years and 6 years old, it's going to cost you $110. Your car is 6 to 9 years old, it's going to cost you $80. Then when it's 12 years or older, it goes to like $10 a year, which seems about right. And then here you have to pay to have it smogged, and that runs you about $40, depending upon where you go to get it smogged. But you need to do that before you go to the DMV. So just make sure that you plan ahead. Taxes would be next on my list. And in the tax category, we have property taxes, which here is relatively cheap compared to lots of parts of the US. It's 0.58. And then the city you choose can add more to that if they need it. Some don't add any. So just ask, and I can let you know what city you're looking at and what the tax rate might be for you for property taxes. Sales tax here, 6.1%, and then it changes based on the city, county, area where you're at. It'll go up from that, but sales tax here is relatively cheap. It's not as expensive like as it was in Tennessee, where it was almost 10% in tax. Income tax here, coming from Tennessee, where there was no state income tax, it kind of sucked to move here and then have to pay. However, the rate here is 4.5% flat tax. So whether you make $20,000 or you make $2 million, you're paying your 4.5% flat tax, which is kind of nice that it's the same and they don't gouge you like California does or other states where the more you earn, the more they want to tax you. The corporate tax rate here is 4.85%, which seems about normal, not super low, not super high. Overall, Utah is rated 10th, I think, out of all the states as far as taxes go. So that's pretty awesome that it's right there near the top of the states out of the 50. So taxes wise, overall, you're going to like taxes here. You're not going to feel like you're overly taxed as you would in certain states. Food costs here. I haven't noticed any sort of major difference as far as grocery cost here over coming from Tennessee. Like, what does my average grocery bill? If anything, inflation has killed your grocery bill, not the state itself. A gallon of milk here currently runs $2.93 a gallon, and I just looked that up to make sure, just give you some sort of reference. So if you know what you're paying for a gallon of milk at Walmart, it's $2.93 a gallon here for that. But as far as all the other groceries, really it's pretty much the same as what you're probably used to paying for groceries. So you shouldn't see much of a change in that. If anything, if the place you're coming from has a higher tax rate, then maybe you'll save some money. But a box of cookies, I think, is about the same price. Gasoline would be next, and gas here is higher than it should be. We have refineries here, but for whatever reason, Utah has this weird thing with gas, so it's expensive here, but not like California expensive. However, usually when I talk to my friends in Tennessee or go back there, it's 75 cents to $1 more a gallon in Utah than it was in Tennessee. And the sales or the tax rate on it wasn't much difference. Maybe it was like 10 or 20 cents a gallon. So it should be a little bit more here. But no one that I've talked to yet has been able to explain to me why we pay more for fuel here in Utah. Must be just where we're getting the fuel from. So there's a cost to it. But they do have something weird here in Utah as far as gas goes. We have 85 octane. And so that may be awkward for you, but we're higher elevation. So it's supposed to act like 87 octane. I haven't got like a real true story or had someone explain to me about that yet. So I don't know that, but usually what I do is run 110. I'll fill the car all the way up to 91. Then I'll run it down halfway full, halfway, and then I'll put in the 85 stuff. So it's got a mix of that. That's what I typically do. But know that when you'll see 91 at the pump, not 93 if you're coming from elsewhere in the country. My big tip for you would be to get a Costco membership if you don't already have one. I've already paid for my Costco membership for the year just in the gas savings, not to mention shopping there or anything else, but just even if you didn't even want to shop at Costco and you just wanted to save money with fuel, usually it's like 30 cents a gallon cheaper for Costco fuel. So like I think today it was $3.74 a gallon for the 85 stuff, or $4.34 I think for the super, which was 30 cents cheaper than some other areas. So anyhow, just know that Costco is a great resource, even if you just bought gas there. Water here, your water bill, it seems like it's much cheaper than it was in Tennessee as far as for water cost. However, people have told me that it's more expensive here than where they came from. So I guess you'll just have to see as far as what your water bill is, if it's less or not. But ours is included currently, so we're not paying water. So I don't really care what the water bill is. Natural gas would be next. So we do have natural gas here. That runs like 15 to 30 bucks a month, usually most months. And that's just powering our water heater and our cooktop, I believe. And I don't think anything else runs on gas except the heater. But I can share with you, if you're relocating here and you happen to have an option to get tankless water heater, it's for sure worth it, even if it increases my gas bill. It's, with the instant hot water and with multiple people trying to shower at the same time, it pays for itself and then some. So know that the winter here, your gas bill will be higher. I think our gas bill in the winter runs like 175 to 225-ish, depending upon how cold it gets. So you'll see that, I guess. And then the electricity drops down, is where it's cheaper in the winter than it is during the summer, of course. Next up would be electricity. And electricity here seems pretty cheap compared to Tennessee. Our bill, or it could just be the house is more efficient than we're in since it's newer, but our electricity bill runs somewhere around $60 to $90 a month most months. In the winter, it's a little less. And then in the summer, when it's really hot, we have seen like a $220 bill. However, my wife likes to keep the house at like 71. So the AC pretty much runs, once it hits like June, July, and that range, it just runs 24/7, keeping our house cool. So you'll know from however you like to keep your temperature, but comment down below what you keep your temperature at, and what your average electricity bill. It would be good to get some idea what you're paying elsewhere in the US. And last but not least on my list is the housing market here and the housing report. So in Salt Lake County, the average home price is $600,000. It was down from a high in May of 2022. So Salt Lake County kind of had their peak in May of which June is when interest rates dropped. Increased massively. Then we started to see 6% and 7% rates. So I think that's caused that. But The average price was 646,000 in May, and then it was 600,000 in September. So I would say you're going to pay somewhere around 600 to 800 for a single family home in the Salt Lake City area, depending upon what you're looking for and how old of a home and what size you want. There were 1,067 home sales in September of 2022. And then in September of 2021, there was 1,541. So there were a lot more home sales last year than this year. And I think that really interest rates just put a big halt on the market because you used to be able to afford a lot more home than what you could get. So if you are thinking about making a move here to the Salt Lake City area, any surrounding city, please reach out to me. My number and email is right here. So I'd love to have a conversation with you, see how I could best help. Even if you're thinking 6 months, 12 months out, reach out. Maybe, I can give you some ideas. You can start getting an idea of what cities or city you want to be in, but I have a ton of videos that I'm making on all the different cities. So stay tuned, or, watch those videos. And thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day.